We are in the process of making our leftover buttered chicken breakfast. So we are getting some hash browns together. We made some crema, but for this video, what we're going to show you how to make is an Indian breakfast bread. So first on the list is going to be some whole wheat flour or all-purpose flour. If you have semolina, you can use semolina, or chickpeas, usually a good substitute. You need 7 grams of salt, or about half a tablespoon of salt. And we're just going to go ahead and mix this together with our hands just to get everything mixed and incorporated. Next, we're going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of oil. They call for sunflower oil, but olive oil is a little bit healthier, or you can also use soybean oil. And we're just going to go ahead and mix and get all of that incorporated so that everything gets incorporated nice and evenly.
Okay, once you get it, for the most part, as much as you can incorporated,
go ahead and make a well in the dough. And we're going to mix in 1 cup of water and start mixing again until we get a dough consistency. What you want to make sure that you do as you're going through is just make sure that everything gets incorporated enough so you don't have any clumps of dry flour. Once it's mixed, we'll go ahead and take it out and put it on our working surface, and now we're just going to knead the dough. There's different techniques you can use, but at the end of the day, you just want to make sure you're kneading it so that everything gets incorporated and mixed in together. So we're going to go ahead and start mixing the dough together and just kneading it together. If the dough is too sticky, you can always oil your hand, and that'll help keep the dough from sticking to you. And we're just going to go ahead and make sure everything's mixed in. If the dough is too dry, you can always add more water, and if it's too wet, you can always add a little bit of flour until it gets to the right consistency.
There's different ways of doing it. One of the ways is you can pull from each side, fold it in, go to the other side, push it down, and repeat. Just make sure you get different sides. The other way you can do it is just push it up, push it down, pick it up, push it down. Doesn't really matter as long as you're getting it mixed in. And so you can see that our dough is starting to come together a little bit here. You can see I can hold it. It's not sticking to my hands too much. Most of what's stuck there right now is just what was stuck in the beginning, but you should be able to see that you can kind of work it and form it in different ways without it becoming an issue.
Once you're done, you're going to take this and roll it into a ball, and you're going to wrap it in cling film, or you can always just let it sit with a wet towel on it. Once the dough has been wrapped, go ahead and let it rest for at least 30 minutes just to let everything kind of settle down.
So now that our dough has been resting, what we're going to go ahead and do is start sectioning this off. But first, while we're doing that, take advantage of our time.
We'll go ahead and start heating up our oil. If you don't have a fryer at home, what we always do is we use a frying pan, and just make sure you get a frying pan that's the size that will fit what you need to put in there. So for this size, we're gonna get an 8-inch pan, fill it with some soybean oil, and we're gonna bring it up to temperature. For this bread, what you wanna do is shoot for around 380 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's warming up, it works to go ahead and start portioning up the dough. So if you can, you're trying to get about dough balls that are about 50 grams if you have a scale at home, and if you don't, what I did was I used I basically put dough in my hand and tried to make a ball with that, and whatever would fit in my hand was about what I was going to be using. It's not a huge deal if you're exact, as long as it'll fit in the pan. That's what you want to shoot for.
Oh, pretty good. All right. So a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit of oil there, put that down, and then what we're going to do is just roll it out.
Go ahead and roll this out into a nice circle. The first one will never come out right for some reason. You just want to keep doing it, and eventually you'll get a better circle.
The biggest thing I'm shooting for at this point is to make sure that it's going to fit in my pan.
Before you drop in anything into your oil, you can either check it with a thermometer, or one good way to do it is just to drop in a piece of dough and make sure it starts sizzling right, and you should have a decent temperature going.
So now we can see once we get it in there, it starts to bubble and float right away.
And once the oil temperature is correct, we're going to go ahead and drop these in. The trick for frying anything really is
you want to lay it down in the pan so that it faces away from you. In that case, in case it splatters any oil, it's away from you. As it starts to fry, you should start noticing that it's going to rise a little bit in the pan, and what you want to do is press it down a little bit to keep it down in the oil as it rises.
Flip. If we can, then we'll quickly just throw it on a paper towel. Now we're going to do the next one.
Once it comes to the surface, you're going to push it down lightly, and then you want to let it rise a little bit, and then once it gets that golden brown color you're looking for on the bottom, you're going to go ahead and flip it over and let it quickly cook on the other side. In all, it should take about 20 seconds once it's been inflated, and about another 20 seconds to fry on the other side to get golden brown all over. Once you have all these finished, you can take them out one at a time and put them onto some sort of surface so they can drain, and they should be ready to go. Enjoy.
This bread is so easy to make. Puri is one of the most common North Indian breads. So if you make it, let us know. #Provecho and enjoy. Here we pair it for our breakfast with the curry, hash browns, and egg. Delicious. Don't forget to subscribe and Provecho.